All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something that, feels more and more important every single day. The arts of slowing down in a world that just refuses to stop. I mean, does this feel familiar to you? You've got deadlines, notifications buzzing, endless to-do lists. It's like we're all just running on this giant hamster wheel at top speed, but we never actually get anywhere. Well, there's actually a name for this whole feeling. It's not just you, it's not some personal failing, it's a cultural thing. We are living in what you could call a cult of speed, a society that basically worships being fast, efficient, and constantly busy. But, and this is the good part, what if I told you there's an antidote? And it's not new. For literally thousands of years, some of the wisest thinkers have been warning us that when life just becomes a frantic blur, we lose the whole point of it all. They've been pointing to a different path all along, the path of slowness. So let's go back. Let's start at the very beginning with the ancient philosophers who totally saw this problem coming and offered up a kind of classical cure for the modern disease of hurry. First on our list, the Stoics. Their whole thing was that a good life, a truly happy life, depends entirely on how we use our time and whether we can cultivate a little bit of tranquility on the inside. So for them, the key was to just step away from the chaos and focus only on what actually matters. And the Roman philosopher Seneca just nailed it with this quote. He argued that the reason our lives feel so short is because we waste so much of our time on what he called heedless pursuits. All the meaningless busyness and distractions. The Stoics' goal is to slow way down and point all that energy inward toward becoming a better person. So what was the end game for them? What was the big prize? Well, it was this state called ataraxia. Think of it as a deep, unshakable inner peace. And to get there, you have to slow down your reactions, you have to pause, and you have to think, instead of just getting swept away by every little impulse. Okay, now let's travel east for a minute, where we find a really similar idea but in a totally different flavor. The ancient Taoists believed the secret was to get in sync with the natural rhythm of the world, which, spoiler alert, means letting go of our very human need to force everything. This quote from Lao Tzu says it all, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. A tree doesn't rush to grow, right? The seasons don't try to speed up. What Taoism teaches us is that these slow, steady, natural processes are actually the most powerful and effective ones. And this all boils down to a super cool concept called Wu Wei. Now, this doesn't mean just sitting on the couch and doing nothing. It means acting with this kind of natural ease, without all the frantic energy and striving. It's all about learning to go with the flow of life instead of constantly trying to swim upstream. All right, let's fast forward a couple thousand years. How on earth did we get from all that ancient wisdom to where we are now, our modern crisis of burnout, where speed isn't just a choice, it's this relentless pressure from all sides? The philosopher Martin Heidegger gave us a really useful way to think about this. He said there are two kinds of time. There's authentic time. That's when you're so absorbed in something that time just flies. It's meaningful. And then there's clock time, quantitative, empty seconds ticking by. He warned that our modern society, with its obsession with efficiency, turns all our time into clock time, just a resource to be used up, and it robs it of its meaning. Building right on top of that, a philosopher today named Byung-Chul Han says we live in an achievement society. We're all our own little entrepreneurs, constantly pressured to perform, to produce, to multitask. And this leads to what he calls hyper-attention. Our focus is scattered everywhere at once. And the end result? You guessed it, burnout, total exhaustion. So let's talk about multitasking for a second. We're always told it's a good thing, right? A sign of progress, a modern superpower. But is it really? And here is the gut punch. Han argues that multitasking is actually a step backwards. It's a regression. It's the state of a wild animal in the forest, constantly scanning for danger, for food, for threats, never able to truly focus on one thing. So it's a survival skill, sure, but it's not the mark of a deep-thinking, advanced civilization. When we multitask, we're not sophisticated. We're just scattered. So if that's the problem, what's the solution? How do we fight back? Well, it's led to this really amazing and growing response, the slow movement, which basically frames slowing down as a powerful modern form of resistance. Believe it or not, it all started in Italy back in the 1980s. A fast food chain wanted to open a restaurant right in the heart of Rome, and people protested. And out of that, the slow food movement was born, all built on the idea that taking the time to grow our food, to cook it, to really enjoy it, that's an act of preserving our culture. And just look at how much that idea has grown. This philosophy has exploded, branching out from food into pretty much every part of our lives. We have slow media, slow parenting, slow travel, even slow science and slow democracy. It's all about challenging that core belief that faster is automatically better. Okay, so let's tie this all together. What does all this ancient wisdom and modern critique mean for you and me right now? Well, it's all about finding our own tempo and learning the art of living a more deliberate life. And this is so important to get. The slow movement is not about doing everything at a snail's pace. That would be silly. Some things in life need to be fast. The goal is to escape the tyranny of fast, this idea that it's the only option, and instead to find the appropriate speed for whatever it is you're doing. The Italians, where this all started, have this beautiful musical term for it, tempo giusto. It means the right speed. Just like a great musician knows exactly when to play fast and build excitement, and when to slow down for emotion and depth, we can learn to conduct our own lives with that same kind of wisdom. And why does any of this matter? Because when we intentionally slow down, we create the space for all the things our fast-paced world seems to be squeezing out: real patience, deep empathy for other people, true mindfulness in our own heads, and a genuine sense of care for the world around us. So, I'll just leave you with this one question to mull over. In the grand symphony of your own life, what parts need to speed up? And maybe more importantly, what parts desperately need to slow down? What is the tempo giusto for you?